From one double game week to another, and now yet again presents another battle amongst the chips. But will the sequel be as good as the original, it being double game week 24 with a Titanic Tarkowski finish? Welcome yet again, the ever reliable FPL Addicts podcast. Let's have it. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good morning if you're watching from down under, or if you're one of them in between, good afternoon. Welcome to yet another edition of the FPL Addicts podcast. As per usual, we're about to preview yet another game week, and what a bumper game week it has transpired to be, with the highest game week average of the season in 87. It's just a matter if you crack the century and hit that territory. But to all, hello, we've got so much to discuss. I mean, since the last episode we had, the double game week 25 chaotic announcement wasn't even a thing. And then it bursted onto the scene like Micah Richards earlier in his career. The next afternoon, X, formerly known as Twitter, went viral. And then everyone's chip strategies went up in the air with a humongous split. 1,088,115 managers activating the triple captain. And for the assistant managers, we had 1.1 million. 416,252 activated on David Moyes, who won the managerial head-to-head against Arne Slot. It was 22 points over Slot's 15. But as usual, we've got to say hello to people. It might be a while to get going. It's Thursday night, 7 o'clock if you're tuning in from back home. Miriam, as always, thank you very much for tuning in. Addicts assemble time indeed. Loads to go over. Bournemouth assets is on the agenda for tonight. We've got to talk about Brentford. Both of the sides, starting with a B, do play in blank game week 29. But where does our focus sit? Is it loading on the amount of double game week 25 players? Is it focusing on the blanks? Because whatever happens, the more double game week players you load up as of now, the more you have to deal with come blank game week 29. And to be in a really good position heading into the run-in, I'd say it's important to avoid that game week using a chip, especially the free hit, because the blanks and the doubles and how it's being manufactured, I'd say it could be a lot more powerful in other game weeks. Without further ado, let's go straight to our mini leagues, because I think some of us had an absolute blinder. Just while I get, first of all, we're going to stop with the addicts, but before that, tonight, we have got a couple of people. Well, before we got on air, it was meant to be Ross Papadakis, so we'll give him a beautiful introduction when he does finally make his way in, probably on a mobile phone. And then Rev, he said Tarkowski, then he left the stage. So I'm wondering if he's going into his own studio. But let's roll the punches. Volab on appetit. The podcast league, this is how it looks. Everyone had a really good game week, unless you played a wildcard. Rev will be here shortly, so I'll give him he can have the full details on his own side. 102. He did crack a century, but the safety score for this week was 127, which is mind-blowing. Got a couple of clean sheets. Trent and Mikalenko in game one. Captain Salah. I love the Ilian Mendai pick up front. Had Gakpo and Erling Haaland too. Scored despite getting hammered by Arsenal 5-1. And just as we speak, we have got someone who's just tuning in, about 15 frames behind him. The Gladiator from 1-0, the head of socials from Pascoe Vale Football Club, all the way back in Melbourne. It's been an absolute pleasure to be around. And finally, I've got the honour to introduce him. Good morning to you, Ross Papadakis. Hello.
Hello, Chaza. How are we going?
I am good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I've just woken up, but look, that's how the world works. So that's how I watch Premier League football, isn't it? So pretty good.
Usually through the hard yards, indeed. And you're probably the first person coming on with a nice microphone too, which helps.
Thank you. Yes, this isn't mine. I've stolen this from Pascavale, but this is mine. Yeah. So
I like it. Nice one. And Ross, how have you found this FPL season? Because there was a lot of changes in pre-season, especially with the addition of 5 transfers and now the mystery chip. How are you coping overall?
uh, to be honest, oh yeah, I'm loving it. I'm a big advocate for taking every week as it comes, and I think maximizing each week to its fullest, and I think that I've done that pretty well.
And which of the assets would you believe has surprised you the most through the course of the season? Has it been the cheap enablers, or has it been the ever-rising evolution of a certain Egyptian king, or even something else?
Look, I've had Chris Wood and Anthony Langer in since Gameweek 18 or something like that, and I think that they've pretty much solidified my position in FPL this year. So I've been high on the Nottingham Forest horse. I think most people have, and I think that's gone in my favour.
That's an excellent get indeed. And, well, fitting enough, let's have a look at our mini league from 1-0, which started in August. What was renowned to be a championship season too. Ross, how did you find last campaign at 1-0? And Costa, if you tune in, this is your pretty much a shout out, and fair play to you for making it all a dream come true. How did you find it?
I found it. I mean, I did say from the start of the season I was there for vibes, and I'm pretty much that's all my role was in the team. Scored 1 goal, made 1 goal contribution, but won 2 trophies. So, look, if you want to talk about a Kai Havertz career, I'm pretty much sorted.
That's a sensational comparison. He's actually out for the rest of the season, but you're not. You're certainly not injured. You're as valuable as they come when it comes to assets. Well, let's look at your side. 122 points. You do, from what I did hear, word has it, you still have all of your chips remaining. Talk to us through your team.
So we've got Martinez in net. Look, I'm not the complete happiest with him. I did transfer out. I had David Raya in for a couple of weeks, and I'm kind of stuck on Emiliano Martinez for, I think, the last couple weeks, which isn't great. He gets 2s every week, which I think for his price, 5 million, I could go better, but I've got triple Liverpool, so I kind of need to hold off with that a little bit. My back 3, I think, is very safe as well. Ola Aina, I'm pretty sure most people have. Gabriel's I guess the differential of the 2 Arsenal centre back, you could say, and then Trent's just safe. And then my midfield, I think I've gone 2 premiums, 3 premiums ish. Palmer, Salah, Alanga, and Kluivert. I did have Saka, obviously, and then I've had to swap him with Alanga. And then the front 3 is just Wood, Gakpo, and Isaac. So they've all sorted me out. Wood with 17. Salah, I didn't triple captain, but he still got me 58. And then Alanga got me 13. So big week for me, 122 without a triple captain. Not complaining.
It's an excellent week. I think the thing that stands out the most is going triple Forest, and what a week to do it. He even had Pyro on the bench, which I know some people left there. It was probably a difficult fixture to predict for Tottenham, I will admit. How would you assess that Brentford Spurs game in general?
Look, I'm a big advocate of Big Ange, obviously. In terms of FPL assets, I don't think Spurs is the way to go, especially because it's been very inconsistent with all the injuries, etc. But I think Spurs is on the up, and I think in the future, once Ange gets all of his players back, I don't think he's a bad pick for assistant manager in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I think it's a really good shout, especially if Spurs did have that game week 25, but unfortunately it wasn't the case. Thank you, Ross. Excellent stuff, and I'm very much look forward to hearing more in terms of what your strategies might be to tackle coming game weeks later in this instalment. But we've got someone else starting with R. It wasn't off a Titanic, but he was a big fan of a tea, and that is Mr. James Tarkowski. Back in the studio once again. The Reverend Rev Mike. I know, Ross, I know you haven't met this bloke, so you can meet just on live on broadcast. That's usually good fun. And that is, I had to check a private chat just to make sure it's good to go. Hello, Rev. Good evening to you.
I mean, hopefully we can hear me, right?
Oh, mate, I can hear you as crisp.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because we're genuinely like running on fumes today. We are. So but the tech problems are sorted now. Just like Everton sorted it out at Goodison Park last night, or even though we left it late. So yeah, just glad for that little last minute screamer. So how are you boys doing anyway? Nice to meet you, Ross.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, cool.
I'm doing well. Like I said, Chaza's got me up at 7 a.m. So I'm doing all right. Look, I'm used to it with all the Premier League staying up until 4 or 5 watching my beloved Man United lose every week. But
I know,
look,
I could say it's relatable.
I wouldn't change it for the world. So
yeah, I could say it's relatable as an Everton fan usually, but we've been doing all right recently, so I don't know.
Look, look, we had a good year last year when I was in England. So the year before that, like this year, it's been just hell. My dad comes home from work and he discusses it with me, and I feel bad for the guy because he hasn't seen a trophy in 15 years either. So
fair. Yeah.
One that matters anyway. Who cares about the Carabao Cup? Hey, so
pretty cool. It's a very Sky Sports commentator.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a good setup. You got all the scales behind you too, Ross. It's good.
Yes, I do.
So actually, before we go to our mini league, talk us through some of your scales, because there seems to be a lot, and you did have the privilege of going to a lot of countries not long ago.
I did, yeah. So 2023, I went to 29 countries, and I tried to go to pretty much a game in every city I went to or every country I went to. So I've got this side. I've got my Man United scarves, and then I've got Olympiacos, which is a team I support in Greece. And I was lucky enough to have been to their stadium 3 times, so that was good. But I went to that game with my brother. I went to Australia versus England at Wembley, 90,000 people. That was great. I went to Celtics championship winning game. I went to Dinamo Zagreb's championship winning game. I went to Napoli's championship winning game. Red Star Belgrade's championship winning game. Like I kind of followed the trophy lists. So look, must be a good luck charm because they all won the league. Hey, so
mate, it's such an excellent display, mate. Fair play to you. And I was really in awe having to hear about your experience earlier last year. So on that front, absolute superb. Thank you for sharing. Rev, we've got to address a few elephants in the room. Now, one not being ready because F he's not here. But now I did briefly go over your team, but I want you to take a cake because it is your side at the end of the day. 102 points. Talk us through what's in your head.
So I think first of all, I want to say some really colourful language towards FPL Towers, and also the Premier League, because just to give you a bit of context, Ross, I activated my wildcard earlier in the week. And the thought process behind this was to gain some traction on some of the people who were going to be thinking about triple captain and Salah. Now, at the time, you look at those 2 fixtures and you think Bournemouth away and Everton away. Both teams are in decent form. If there was ever a moment to maybe go against, what people normally might do, then, that could be the moment. Also, City were absolutely in the ascendancy. Arsenal struggling with loads of injuries. And so I thought, you know what? Foden and Haaland have been great recently. And having Foden and Haaland as a differential and when you look at those numbers, I thought, yeah, sure, okay, why not? Let's go for it. The day after I activate the chip, the double game week gets announced. And I'm just like, because how am I supposed to catch these guys when we've now got people who are able to use the assistant manager chip now? And I can't use the assistant manager chip because I've activated my wildcard already. So, and that's the disadvantage of the wildcard, right? Because once you activate it, it's activated. Whereas everyone else who was on triple captain was able to go, right, cool, I'll just whack it on Slot or Moyes, and have a great day. So not only did my plan backfire, I also had, I managed to avoid getting hit by Isaac. Isaac didn't punish me. I feel like I was correct to take him out with those fixtures. I was, however, previous to my wild card, an owner of Gibbs White and Chris Wood. So, and they both got some pretty incredible returns. And I know what you're thinking, Ross, mate. It's just like, it's enough to send your head sideways, isn't it?
Yeah.
Literally like that. And so for me, I was just a bit like gutted, to be honest. A little bit gutted because, yet again, I'm punished for making a decision which, is a bit spicy, a little bit against the grain. And of course, Salah did do well as a triple captain, but I was not expecting to lose so much ground to the assistant manager chip. I now have my assistant manager chip, and I might just have to save it for, the game weeks when, like those double game weeks around game week 30 odd, something like that. And I might have to use it on someone like Pep, or something. I don't know. I've not looked that far ahead, but yeah, absolutely punished. Absolutely punished. And Zai, though, with the 9-pointer was great. However, he's now injured. I do have Kluivert and Kerkez to bring in, so that's great. But overall, I would say it is a 100-point game week, and usually we'd be buzzing about that. But it's all subjective. It's all relative, isn't it? And yeah, just punished for trying to be different in a what feels like a really unfair and disproportionate way, unfortunately.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Some
season over.
Well, it's going to be hard. Let's say that just briefly to see how Reidy went. I'll be super quick on this. Would he have Pickford?
Jeez.
Couple of clean sheets. Shoot TC. Had Wood. Had Gakpo. Palmer. Munoz on the bench and that's 19 points. Damn. Oh.
He's always benching his Palace clean sheet points forever.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Right. This is how I went. 157. I know FPL Juice stirred over top on it. Clean sheets galore, but let's face it, the second game, no one did anything but Salah. 29, can't complain. Excellent. Mateta, Chris Wood up front, and benched another Robinson assist. So that's gone, what was it, 700k to about 318. So a really good week. But we moved to another double. So that's how it went. Cheers.
Nice, mate. Nice. Well done.
Yeah, nice. Cheers to that. That's good. I was feeling good about my weekend and I saw that. So that's
yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, next of all, because I think we need to talk about a side. You mentioned him very quickly, Rev. I'll go to you first, Rev, and then Ross. Bournemouth assets, because they have got a really good fixture run ahead. You're already on Kluivert and Kerkez. Are you tempted to go for a third Bournemouth player, or do you feel that might be a bit over?
Yeah, I'm on a third Bournemouth player. I am.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, you got Azra Balaga. Forgot about that.
Yeah, I do have Kepa. Yeah. So, and I think that run of fixtures is particularly creamy. Bournemouth, one of the reasons I hit the wild card. They're absolutely doing amazingly right now, and they've got that classic FPL combo of form and fixtures. So, yeah, hopefully looking forward to getting some points out of them. Kind of maybe slightly regretting not going for Dango slightly, but maybe the triple Bournemouth attack might be a bit too much, and Kirkez is quite attacking as well. So yeah, hopefully going to be getting some of those points. But I feel like a Bournemouth triple up is probably a bit too much. But at the same time, I did want a Jordan Pickford on my wild card, but I just couldn't afford them. So I just went, next best thing. Let's go for the guy with some decent fixtures.
Ross, what's your take on Areolas, man?
I think Bournemouth's flying. I don't really like. I've gone double. I've got Kluivert and Zabiani. I just went Zabiani because it was a differential, and I think everyone had Kirkez. And I'm like, I'm just going to be a bit different here. And then Kluivert I've had since, God knows, I got him week 12 when his price dropped, and then he got the 20. And I've kept him ever since because I'm high on Bournemouth right now. So, look, he got a 2 this week, but I'm happy with 2. They've got a very good run of fixtures. So, look, Southampton, Wolves, Brighton, they'll probably beat Spurs as well. So that's a good lot of games. I'm happy with that. Areola isn't a bad assistant manager get in the coming weeks either, because that's a pretty easy run of fixtures.
Yeah, of course. Now, top stuff, I think it's certainly important to have 1. 2's probably not too bad, just to get a bit of value back in your side. 3 might be a bit much at the minute, but who knows? Southampton away, I think a lot of sides benefit incredibly well in that stadium. So, could be amazing.
So here's the thing, right? Every single week since week 15, I've captained the most attacking asset against Southampton, and it's kind of worked out for me.
That's not
because I did it. Yeah, I did it with Isaac, and he got 13. I did it with Salah. I did it with Chris Wood. I've just really lucked out with those picks.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So fortune favors the brave. Unless your name is FPL Rev, at which point you get punished. So
we've got more people who have joined as well. Gary on 120, fair play, decent score from you. Well done. All right, Rev, bloody blue shot. You think that they won the UEFA Cup? It was a draw. All right, Rev, just address this point.
I am going to address this.
Go.
I think if you can't celebrate your captain in the last ever Merseyside derby, smashing in on the volley, an absolute thunder bastard against your bitter local rivals with the last kick of the game. If you can't celebrate that, you shouldn't watch football. Facts.
Facts. Yeah.
Anyone who wants to joy police the Evertonians in the last ever Merseyside derby at Goodison Park, then I feel like, and I've got a take on this, by the way, and I think this is a pretty hot take. So do Liverpool fans admit that the way Everton celebrated our last-minute goal, do they admit that there was so much passion in there? I've heard loads of people saying, "Oh, you'd think they won the league? Do you think they won the league?" I'm like, so you admit that we give more passion to our team than you do? Is that the case? Because you could say that we're over celebrating or whatever, but I could say right back at you, well, yeah, all right, sit there in your armchair, you plastic fans, and just go, yay, woo, a trophy. It was like we're Everton, nil satis nisi optimum, nothing but the best, and we've got the best fans, And I've got people saying, like, in the chat, "Oh, what have you won in the past 10 years?" Nothing. Still got more
Yeah.
passion. Still got more passion. Way to tell on yourselves, guys. Way to tell on yourselves. And that's my take. Shh.
Yes, Beto. That's it. What a celebration. Beto. Woo!
That's my take.
Love it. That is way too good. I tell you what, Reidy, and good evening to you. Honestly, mate, I thought you were working last minute, but it seems like he can do multiple. He can multitask. He loves your name, Ross. So there's your big plug for the night. Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't include my middle name because it was a bit too Greek for everybody, so I've left that out. But yeah, my name's my name, I guess. So I'm the only one as well. There's no other Ross Papadakis, so pretty cool.
Colm, as always, our number one supporter, thank you very much for joining. Moyes to men. He is not wrong on that front. One more question, actually, and because we're talking about Bournemouth assets, would you remove Gordon for Kluivert? I'm going yes.
Yeah.
If you've got no other fires to put out, like if that's a transfer that you're making, then great. I do think Man City will concede. And I do think that if and when, Man City do concede, will Gordon be involved? Probably. However, I think as you know, we've been saying, it's not a terrible idea to just target Southampton either. I think it's a totally fair idea. So, yeah, do it.
That is a very good point. Very quickly on the public league, and we do have, of course, Tom Stone's massive 126. A few had a big week, and Bill Stewart with 151, but Tom is still leading by 22 points. Plenty of movement within the top 10 on that front. Right, and we're going to talk about the other side, who you've been big on. You've trebled up on them, Ross. You've been on them for a good while. Let's talk about Nottingham Forest. Now, is it time to get rid of them or not? Rev, I really want to hear your take on this too. Like, tough fixtures, but the form is too good right now. Ross, first to you.
Keeping everyone I've got. I'm not getting rid of anybody. Chris Wood scoring for days. He's like 12 goals off 100, which 100 Premier League goals, which is wild when you think about it. That's more than Mark Viduka for any Aussies listening, which is just crazy. Anthony Elanga was heartbroken when he left Man United, so my homage to that is keeping him in my team. Yeah, so I'm never removing him, and Ola Aina I'm keeping as well. So yeah. So other than that, Elanga as well, 30% selected in teams, which is quite a lot, but like you need a defender, so that's the one I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
And they got Fulham this week, which is a little bit tough. Like it could go either way, but oh well, bad luck.
Yeah, I think personally you can't sell them before Fulham. You just can't. It's just, if you've got them against Fulham, you play them against Fulham. Like I even think if you like, not that anyone should or would, but if you're playing a free hit this week, you probably go with some Forest assets. So they're probably part of the best, most optimal team that you could pick this week. It's the fixtures afterwards that are the concerning ones, but just keep hold of them. And Nottingham Forest, they, apart from that blip against Bournemouth, they seem to be the real deal. They seem to,
and they're beating teams above them. So like they've beaten Man United, they've beaten Spurs, they drew to Liverpool. Like that's not like they can still go it to. I think they've got St James's Park. They've got Newcastle at St James's Park. Like they can go there and beat them. They can beat Arsenal at the Emirates. Like it could literally go either way. Yeah,
I mean, Reidy having a pop at me in the chat. He's saying, "Who on earth would sell Morgan Gibbs-White and Chris Wood?" Yeah, me guys. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, that's quite stiff. Forest, probably no at the moment, and I just think considering their track record this season, it's very hard to get rid of him. And Chris Wood, just to compliment what you said, Ross. He's the most sold striker. Ends up bagging a hat trick. I mean, what's he done wrong? Not much. Yeah.
Not much. Yeah. apart from blanking in the 5-0 loss, he did have a brief little 3-game period of not scoring, but other than that, like, are you gonna complain at that? Probably not.
Yeah.
7 million as well, by the way. Like, that's
So cheap as well. Yeah, exactly what I was going to say, Ross.
Yeah.
So cheap.
Ripper. No, great calls all round. Very quickly, Women's League. Now, unfortunately, Mira, one of our favourites, she is not on top. She's now second. Only scored 126. Julia is now up on top with a cracking 142-point game week on that front. Back to prioritisation. Now, we've got a double game week. Liverpool, Aston Villa, as we mentioned earlier. Rev, how much and to what extent are we prioritising bringing assets in for this week versus preparing for blank game week 29?
Yeah, so that is the absolute tension, isn't it? So you've got, it's so weird watching Aston Villa, like, in general. Like, I want to start just by saying it feels like whoever is managing Aston Villa has been playing like Footy Manager 2018. Like, look at the lineup: Tielemans, Rashford, Asensio. Like, these are all like wonder kids from that moment. So I do feel like they do take these players on and they really give them a bit of a new lease on life. I'd be interested to hear Ross's take on whether or not Rashford could be a good option in a Villa shirt. That could definitely be a move. But I think, yeah, definitely, if you are free hitting in game week 29, go for it. Get those Villa assets in. Sure.
Go, Ross.
Ross, what do you think
me?
about Rashford as a potential option?
Look, I wanted him out of my club, and then as soon as I saw him in a Villa shirt, I was heartbroken.
Yeah,
so look,
run away.
Just
with
for just for context, he's made his Man United debut when I was 10. So, that's crazy to think. And he came on for Villa in the Champions League and looked great, that striker. And he's a midfielder, I think, in game, which is very, very. If he gets a good run of form like he usually does, turns into Lionel Messi for 3 games a year, then I think it's a no-brainer. They do have a blank coming up, don't they? So you kind of have to maybe after that see what happens, and they might go far in the Champions League as well. So, but yeah,
fair.
And what was the other question?
That's good. Like, I think that's definitely something to consider. Is like, if they are going to go deeper into the European competition, then minutes could be being managed a little bit more. We've I don't know what's going on with Watkins at the moment.
And we did see as well Marlon. I don't think Marlon was registered for Champions League, so he might play in the league. Rashford might play in the Champions League. Asenjo might play in the Champions League. That type of thing. So it's a bit And Watkins is disappeared. Yeah,
just want to interrupt the current flow of conversation to say hello, Mira, in the chat. Mira, we just want to let you know that we are sending you absolutely all of our love, mate. And as a member of the FPL community, we're all rooting for you over here, both in life and in FPL as well, mate. So much love to you. And but we'll get back onto the Villa conversation as well. I was one of those FPL managers who had Consa for a while.
Oh yeah.
He was like a 4.4 or 4.3 million pound defender, and was just part of a really well. Aston Villa were doing amazingly at the time, so it was an absolute no-brainer. And I ended up playing him most weeks because I had like loads of injuries, and then just kept getting punished. Felt like a no-brainer though.
Yeah. Villa defense, I just think that's such an avoid right now, and probably spot on with Reidy. Like, would you really look for anyone outside of Morgan Rogers just because he's cheap? I mean, there's Watkins, but would you really sell Isaac?
I sold him.
Well, I have, yeah.
You don't sell Isaac?
Yeah.
I just got rid of Isaac. Yeah.
I don't have Isaac on my wild card. Yeah.
Oh,
No, double 25. I got rid of him.
Yeah.
grand.
So,
You know, I did manage to dodge that bullet, but now I've got Ndai, who's been spotted on crutches, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's another one to add to my list of absolute horrendous decisions that have not gone my way this year.
Well, focus. We've spoken about the double game week, Villa. Now let's have a look at all of the other matches. And look, it starts a Friday early kickoff. People do not get caught by the deadline. Now, final game coming all the way to Wednesday night. And as per usual, everyone gets to pick one standout fixture. Let's start with you, Ross. Actually, let's put you in a hot seat. What is the most standout fixture for you? Could be FPL. Actually, yeah, let's make it FPL.
FPL only. Okay. Well, it's got to be. I think it's Liverpool Villa.
Sure.
I don't know. It's just I've got triple Liverpool, and I'm triple captaining Salah this week, so I think I need that week to go well, and that's a very good clash.
Yeah. Right. About you, Rev.
Oh, well, I just want to say, Ross, I might be joining you in a particular boat, my friend. So, you know, whenever there's some attack and returns from Salah, I'll be thinking of you, mate, and, you know, celebrating together, hopefully. I do think this week is, on paper, objectively a better week to triple captain Salah than last week. I feel like Bournemouth really, really good side, and Salah just scored 2 good goals. I mean, which is fair enough. And then obviously the goal and assist versus Everton as well is it's going to be a tough game week to beat, you know, in terms of triple captaincy. However, I do think that you know, he's going to hopefully be doing the business for us. I think for me the standout fixture, it has to be this Southampton Bournemouth fixture, because I am, of course, on triple Bournemouth. You know, this could be the start of some big swings in my season. I don't know anyone who's on triple Bournemouth personally. I feel like I'm the only one that I know in all of my mini leagues who's on triple Bournemouth. So Bournemouth fans, sorry in advance that I've absolutely cursed you. You know, loads of stupid own goals and red cards and injuries now that I've backed you. It seems to be the story of my season, but hopefully that game will be one that provides a lot of attack and returns and possibly a clean sheet as well. You know, because Southampton not looking great offensively either.
Well, great picks. I won't lie from you both. That's excellent. Now, for me, and now Colm's going to like us. I don't think anyone else is, whoever's watching. Fulham, Nottingham Forest. I'm going for a standout game because here's why. I've got to have to check this. Yeah, correct. So if you're going for Silver, Assman, and we love saying Assman, it's one of our favourite turns. Am I right, Rev? Yes, it is. Table bonus game for Marco Silva, and they did beat them at the City Ground earlier in the season. We've got Chris Wood, Aina. I mean, you could name all the Forest players from the 1980s. Ross knows them off the top of his tongue. And you got Fulham, who came from behind away at Newcastle, and Silva won that game table bonus as well. So I just reckon that's huge. I reckon that's two. They are the giant killers this season, Fulham and Forest. And yeah, I know Rev's not going to like it and probably reckons I'm a bit.
That's great. Good shout, mate.
Off the whirl on that front. But yes, that's what I reckon. Now, Isaac talk. I know you both sold him. One is keeping firm, cards close to her chest. Mira says, can't bring myself to sell Isaac. It's very intriguing point. People in the chat, are you getting rid of the Swedish striker, or are you gonna keep him for the foreseeable? Fixtures are done. As per usual, let's go down the transfer laneway and have a look at the transfer traffic for game week 25. And the usual question, I'll let Rev go first on this. Membros, any surprises amongst the top 5? Off you go.
It's interesting to see people bringing in Chris Wood this week. I feel like if you don't have him, you just have to bite the bullet this week and then wait for the bad fixtures. So I feel like that he's just bringing him in for one decent game week and then just going to have him for 3 really hard fixtures straight after that. So that for me is the biggest surprise there, for sure. So yeah, that's me.
Nice. Ross, what about you?
I think it's a similar story with Morgan Rogers. Like they've obviously got the blank game week coming up, but if you don't have him, just hold out. Like I was thinking about getting him, but how many people transferred him in? Quite a few, right? And he's not the fixtures apart from the double in Chelsea. He's got 2 games and then a blank, and then like it's just, I think it's touch and go for Rogers, but that's probably the only thing that I'm thinking. Everything else there seems pretty normal.
Yep. No, that's fair. And in fairness, I tend to agree with you both on both the transfer front. I mean, Wood, most surprising. Rogers in second. Jackson's out till April for Chelsea, so that's a big blow. Is it going to be
Jackson?
Yes. You know it. Nkuku at 5'7". Is he going to get a look in by anyone? Probably not. No.
I feel like we're all still so hurt from having him in our game week 1 teams.
Yeah.
You know, we don't forgive very easily. You know, I know I'm the Reverend, but you know, even I can't forgive such an absolutely horrendous start to the season from the man.
No. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good call. Right, transfers done. Now, I know I touched this about 3 minutes in, but you both weren't here. So what's happened since? Double Game Week 25 announcement since our last episode. League Cup final, Newcastle, Liverpool, Villa, Crystal Palace, all don't have a game in blank Game Week 29. Liverpool and Villa's fixture has been pushed forward, which we've already mentioned plenty of times. Newcastle Palace, however, will be announced at a later date. We don't know when, but keep an eye out on the Premier League website. Blank Game Week 34 in the FA Cup. Right, now there was some upsets here. Rev, you would be buzzing at Liverpool knocked out. But this means that probably Mo Salah doesn't have another double game week fixture this campaign. Are you gobsmacked by all this?
Yeah, it is the last chance to triple captain Mo Salah, and with the season he's having, it's probably silly not to if you still have it. Sorry, my computer just went off and on again. Am I still here?
Nah, of course you are.
Yeah.
You've risen from the
okay. How interesting. Oh, my computer might be wanting to restart on me. So if I go, then that's yeah. I've been having loads of technical problems. Sorry. But you know, just to reiterate, like the reason why we were happy in our house that Liverpool lost in the FA Cup is not because I'm a bit of blue. Like guys, I'm going to look down the camera when I say this. I do not care about Liverpool and what they do. I don't care. I'm focused only on us. Okay, so just in case you didn't know. But the reason why we were happy in our house is because my wife, Laura, is actually from Plymouth and is a Plymouth fan. And our kids were shouting Green Army to the TV. And I was obviously happy for Laura and my kids as well. So, yeah. Yeah, just want to say, like, can you tell by the way I'm a bit fired up from the derby, and especially because, like, honestly, they've lost a game and drawn one, and they turned into the worst fan base in the world, the most absolutely entitled bunch of People who thinks everything should just be put on their lap, honestly. And if they think that, you know, we're celebrating massively now after a draw and a last minute equaliser, wait until we actually, you know, get into that new stadium and start like attracting some good players and maybe possibly even winning something one day. You know, that we'll show you limbs then, okay, as well.
Great. That's a ripper take. And for the next round cup draw, we've got 4 all Premier League ties in Bournemouth Wolves, United Fulham, Newcastle Brighton, Forest Ipswich. And we've got an all championship, Preston Burnley, and who cares about that? But Plymouth, speaking of, they've got to do another giant killing away at the Etihad. Do they stand a chance? Like, I think they do, surely, in the back of their minds.
Go on, Ross, take it away, mate.
Yeah, why not? I think City will go all out if, depending on how I'm not too sure how that lines up with the second leg of the Champions League. But if City's out, then they'll go full pelt with that. But if not, then I don't see why Plymouth can't go for it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Go all the way, win the whole thing. Hopefully, but no.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the game plan from Plymouth was exceptional against Liverpool. I thought that they came with the perfect idea to make the game really scrappy and to keep it really tight, and to, you know, press aggressively outside their own box and to you know, to make some clattering tackles to let that team know that they're absolutely in a game straight away. And one of the first things that happened, was them absolutely going in, making some pretty tough tackles. Gary is saying Brasso incoming for the new EFC Stadium. The only thing you will be polishing this season, Rev. Cool. I'm still going to support them, and you seem to be commenting a lot, mate, on how I support my own team. Wouldn't it be amazing to just support your own team, Gary, mate? You know, for the changes that they're talking about us. 1-2-2 draw, and we're rent free in your head, bro. Like, just incredible. I'm laughing this up, Gary. Gary knows I love him, by the way, guys. Gary knows I love him. But this is good. I love a bit of banter like this. I love a little back and forth.
It is a ripper. Reidy, what are you doing on your work break? It only lasted 20 minutes. Stop commenting on podcasts, or else you should have just joined. Anyways, Spurs got a new stadium. They're even worse. Yeah, no, it does look like a toilet seat. You're not wrong. Ross, I know you've had one compliment. We're going to give you another. Someone loves your shirt. What year was that?
98, 99, 97, 98, one of the two. I got it from Old Trafford when I went in 2011.
Excellent.
You've got to put the collar up with that,
Okay.
The Eric Cantona.
Yeah.
It's one of my, I think I've got a kit from every year since I was born, but then this kit as well was given to us, so I've kept it.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's not even mine, it's my brother's, but he supports Spurs, so I took it off him.
That is mightily impressive. Brilliant stuff. Well, okay, so just to reiterate before we go to our next segment, there's already 2 Gameweek 34 fixtures. Liverpool against Spurs and Chelsea against Everton, but probably more to be added in. Next round of cup matches to be played on the weekend of the 1st of March. Now, I'm going to put this segment again, the second time. I'm not sure what the feedback was in the last one, so this could be trash can by the end of it. We're going to rank for chips. Now we're in for another double game week. What the most effective is to the least effective is if you had all your chips at your disposal. Ross, I'm going to start with you because let's face it, you've got all your chips still in hand. So what would you rate as the most effective for use based on the double game week information we've got? We've got 2 sides doubling, but most effective to the least effective. I'll go you, then I'll probably go me, and we'll go to Rev, but if he hates a segment, that's fine. I'll trash it by the end of it. Go.
I'll go triple captain this week. Is it just this week or in general?
This week.
Yeah.
This week, triple captain. And then I would probably say second most effective would be an assistant manager chip, probably. And then
who
can probably
have as the assistant.
Who would I assistant manager?
Would you have Mr. Good Evening? himself.
You might have to just in hope for the table bonus, right? Or they don't get it, do they? But still,
No, they will get it.
I mean,
he would if he wins both games. It's still not bad, to be honest. So Slot still gets points, doesn't he? Even if he's sent off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you could just do him and lock in
Yeah.
a double win if you really want to. But like, who knows what happens with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they're the only two relevant chips this week. Anyway,
Yeah.
Obviously, wildcard if your team is an absolute shambles, but you don't have to. I think it does lead us on to like a little bit of another discussion. I think that there's two ways that we can think about the assistant manager chip. I think the first and most important way to think about it is it's here, whether we like it or not, right? And I think figuring out the best way to use it now is our priority because it's already been done. I think going forward, that red card against Arne Slot shows me that this chip is just stupid.
I agree.
It's a rubbish chip because we're not backing the manager. Like if it was an assistant manager chip, right? What we would have to do is maybe we get extra points if their substitutes come on and get a goal or an assist. But it's never been about the manager. It's only about the team. Like it might as well be the team chip. Like you might as well pick Liverpool.
Yeah.
The chip. Yeah, absolutely. And so the fact that Arne Slot's got a red card and is still going to get points next week against whoever he plays is ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. He should get minus points because he got a red card just like any other FPL asset in the whole history of FPL. And it's not happened. It's a silly chip. It's a silly chip.
Yeah.
Feel free to disagree though.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think the strategy guy didn't really think that idea through properly. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's just not thematic enough for me. Like just from a game design perspective, it's got nothing to do with the manager and everything to do with the team. Like they've tried to call it the assistant manager chip, but like again, like what is it that changes if you change the chip from a manager chip to a team chip? You get to back one team for 3 weeks. It's silly. It's not what FPL is about. Anyway, I think triple captain and then
Assistant manager.
Assistant manager and wildcard team shambles.
Yeah, that's fair. I think so. I put down TC assistant manager. I put bench boost third because I know some managers may have benching dilemmas, and it could be merit in putting a bench boost, but probably not as relevant as the other two. Wildcard if your team's a mess, and who would free hit Aston Villa plays in? Seriously, that's just going dead last. So that's how I do it from a chip strategy ranking. Now, we're very close to revealing our sides, but I just need to check with Rev. Did I miss any key agenda points before we properly and swiftly move on?
No, not that I can't see, but chat, let us know in the comments. Any questions that you've got, things that you want us to ask. Colm, he says, do we think Crystal Palace will win fairly easily as Everton will be exhausted after being on such a high? I'm not sure that's how that works, Colm.
Yeah.
But I think we know Colm, and we know he's probably trying to get a little cheeky nibble out of me. But I'm wise to him. We've been doing the show with Colm for a few years now, and I'm on to you, dude. I'm on to you. Yeah.
Ross, you wouldn't believe it. You've got a lot of attention on tonight's broadcast.
I know.
Take it away.
This is a mic. I don't know how I'm meant to. It's just a Rode wireless go-to. That's all I'm gonna. I don't know how. I've been given it, so I'm gonna just use it. So it works for me. So I film all my TikToks with it. So look, I think it works.
Yeah,
Like-
Sorry, I can't give more information. I don't know where to get them from, how much they are, but yeah.
Like, I really want to be like, and now we're going to go over to Chris Kamara, and there's been a red card.
I love it.
You know what I mean? It's got those vibes.
It does, yeah. I don't know where like the guard is, but I don't know. Oh well.
Quality. Just put a sock over it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. I could, but I'm here now. I'm 55 minutes into it. Might as well just back it. Yeah.
We're going to send it. We're going to send it.
Sending it. Rev, you're first off a rank by the looks of it when it comes to team reveals. Double Gameweek 25. Talk us through your plans, and then afterwards it's going to be Reidy, then Ross, and then myself. Off you go.
Chaza, you're first. That's how it works.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry, mate. I didn't actually have my camera.
So just a reminder, folks.
Please.
You know, the special dynamic of our podcast, even though Chaza forgets every week, is that you know, we are part of a mini league. You know, we're not here trying to necessarily make the best individual FPL choices. And to be fair, thank God we're not trying to do that, because we will be going very far. What we are trying to do to bring out of our podcast is the mini league dynamic. You know, what do you do if you're at the top? What do you do if you're chasing? You know, how can you go about things a little bit differently? Like, so, for example, like last week, Ross, I couldn't triple captain Mo Salah because I knew Chaza and Reidy were going to triple captain Salah. So I had to do something different. You know, I can't just do the same thing as them and then expect to catch them. So, however, also, there've been several times where, and it's not been fair, Ross, you know, I've been badly done to, where these, I'm going to use the word gentlemen, but you can replace whatever word you want. These gentlemen have seen what I've been doing in terms of making a transfer or who I'm going to captain, and then they both captain or make a trip the same as me, and so they basically shut me out. You know, they block any chance of me making progress. So that is why Chaza, who is the top of our league, is going to make his decisions first, and then I'm going to come in afterwards, so that this gentleman won't copy me again.
Fair enough.
Everything explanation. I feel bad for violating you every single week, so I thoroughly apologise, Rev. But we do push on, and this is our team for this week. It looks like we're just going for an easy roll, sausage roll, camera roll, rolling down the hill, whatever you want to do. It's what we're going with. The two probably main questions.
You cannot be benching Dango, lads.
Who got?
You're in, bro.
Does Mateta go on the bench?
I'm in a very similar dilemma. So
Who goes to
What
the bench?
the heck?
it's a good thing he went first. Hey, so
Yeah, I know, right? Nah, I can't agree with that, Chaza. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter whether or not it's your team. Obviously, you make the decision. I think benching Dango is foolish, though.
Okay.
You do have to make a decision between Mbermo, Wood, and Mateta. I think. But you have to play him against Southampton, man. Sure.
Yeah, I just don't know who to take out. That's the thing.
Palmer.
This is controversial. I'm going to say Palmer.
Palmer or Isaac, to be honest.
Palmer or Isaac, yeah. Like, there's a reason why a lot of people have been selling Palmer. It's because he's got one return now in his last 4. And
Yeah.
I think, you know, with Jackson injured now as well, you know, that Chelsea attack is a little bit less potent. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, okay. So there's
Just
the team.
that's a madness. That is a madness.
Yeah. So I reckon if Roger didn't have a double,
Gary says unchained Dango. Dango unchained.
I mean, he's not wrong. Yeah, it's got.
Gary, I am applauding that one, mate. That is absolutely incredible.
No, so that's a ripper. No, yeah, so that's pretty much. Like, why give me applause? Just stop, yeah. You just writing me the whole time. Just
Gary
Ben
applause.
Palmer let catch it. Great. Okay, well, yeah, that's me done, sorted. Ross, as we'll do Reidy, then you Rev after Ross. Ross, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm good to go. You've got my team right, so
I do. Yeah, actually, I've got to go onto the other page, and it's just about to load up. Now, is there anyone who could be considered outside of Salah for captaincy, or is it a Salah stream the whole way?
I was between actually triple captaining Trent or Salah.
Ooh.
But the fact that whatever 1.5 million people triple captain Salah this week, if I do it this week, then I feel like it's like pretty much locked in, even if he doesn't do as well.
Right.
But I'm above Chaza in the leagues, so this is good.
Yeah.
So I've made one change, and it was Isaac for Mateta. Like I bought Mateta in for Isaac. And then now I need to just work out how to fit Mateta into this team, pretty much, which I'm thinking might be for Palmer.
A Palmer bench?
No, it's for Gabriel, mate.
Yeah, probably is going to be for Gabriel because Arsenal does not have any attacking assets. But yeah, but like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I think that's a good, like, look, I'm 245,000th in the world. So
you're doing really well, mate. Yeah.
I'm just vibing it out. I think Salah's 53 points off breaking the all-time record, I'm pretty sure. So he gets that this week and look like
yeah.
So like I'm set. That's pretty much it. Like I don't know. I've got 3 free transfers and 3 million in the bank. So like I'm breezy. Yeah. So like
I do like the idea of triple captain and Trent. Personally,
I was thinking, because if they get a clean sheet, like
However, he did only play 30 minutes yesterday. He's probably going to play 60 minutes in the next game, and then he might play a full 90 in the game after that.
Yeah.
But either way, I think I don't want to triple captain a player whose minutes might be being managed slightly.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's unfortunate because I agree with you, Ross. Like, I think if I was looking at these fixtures again, I might be tempted to put the armband on Trent.
And I did say to Chaza a couple of weeks ago, I remember saying to him specifically, like, there's like that last week wasn't the most ideal double game week for Salah. And I did say to him, I'm literally reading messages over. I said last Merseyside derby at Goodison under a new manager, it's not a like a sure result, which is why I said I'm gonna save it. And then he sent me a screenshot of if Liverpool reach the EFL Cup final, then they will double. And then I'm like, well, there you go. So I don't know how I've predicted that. I think I had a vision and kind of went for it. But look, I think it's like I'm top of all my leagues apart from one, which is called 1-0 FC, which I'm 13 points behind him.
Yeah, nice.
So like I'm and I've got all my tips. So I've pretty much planned for that week. I don't really care enough to sit and make an Excel spreadsheet or whatever these people do. But like I'm sitting here and just taking every week as it comes. So I don't know.
And I think like, it's either skill or luck or maybe a bit of both, but your team is looking really good for game week 29 as well. Like, I know you do have Liverpool in there, but that is solid.
I have kind of planned for that, kind of, because worst case, I think my ideal plan is bench boost 33, free hit 34, and then assistant manager 36, 37, 38, which will get me 4 games. But I don't know, something like that. I don't really like know what I'm doing. I do have 3 transfers, like I said. So I'll stack them up to 5 when it gets to 29 and then just swap out and then change it over pretty much. So that's me.
Love it.
Yeah, great.
Oh, we've got something here. This is intriguing. Well, first of all, Quentin, the Keenan food analogies hit the house. Mate, we are missing you, honestly, with your Southampton McDonald's and all that kind of stuff.
Having Quentin come into the chat right now is like, when you order a pizza, and it comes and it's just so delicious, but then you open it and you find out that they've just given you loads of extra toppings. It's just amazing, So, welcome Quentin in the chat.
Going to Sausage Roll this week. Yeah, perfectly timed now. Quentin's here.
Yeah,
Reidy.
Another.
Big Cool Ross.
Yeah,
Bench Aina for Mateta. Easy. Right. What's your take on this?
I don't like it.
Mm.
I think I'm high on Forest. I've said this, and I feel like if they do win convincingly. So I'm just gonna keep it because, to be honest, Aina 6-1, 4-2, 6-8, 6-15. It's a good run of results. I don't actually know. I have not looked at what Fulham's done. They beat Newcastle last week. Okay, which is defensively. I don't know. I vibe it out. I have impulse picks very last minute and then just hope for the best, which has worked out for me so far.
I like it. Top stuff. Beautiful. Thank you, Ross. All the best for this game week. Just a cracking team as well. The cheeky Sean Dyche 4-4-2, if anything. Now, am I right in saying, Rev, it's Reidy now? Is that correct? Just to double check.
Yeah, Reidy. Yeah. Thanks, Chaza. Just reminding me that I'm at the bottom. Yeah. Honestly, I could tell you stories about my luck this season, man. Incredible. Well, I think
I'm above Chaza, so if anything, just humble him with that.
Yeah,
so a part-time FPL player is up there.
At the end of the season, highlighting every one of my decisions, why I made it, and then how it went wrong.
Yeah.
And like every single transfer, there's a story. Something happens. Every single chip activates. An extra double game week gets announced. I'm like, yeah, great, thanks.
Very quickly on Reidy, while he's doing his best impersonation as Postman Pat on a work shift at the moment, he did one transfer. Ahmad out for Dango, who's also on the bench. He's fielding Alexander Isak too. This is honestly such a mad podcast. Everyone's got different opinions. 3-4-3. 4 double game week players on that front. So that's him. And I
don't understand the Dango hype. I might be wild here, but he's had a couple good scores, but that's it, right? Is he just cheap? Am I missing something?
He's an out of position.
Okay.
Midfielder for a team in great form with great fixtures. So
okay,
he's playing as a striker. So it was kind of like when we had what's his name last season. Who did we have last season playing as a striker?
McNeil or something.
Oh, I can't remember, but it was someone like Havertz. Was Havertz?
Oh yeah.
He was registered as a midfielder and he was playing up top for a bit, and he went on that little run. So yeah.
Rev, here's your team. Take us away.
Yeah. So again, I did get a price rise out of Ndai initially, so I can afford to eat one price drop from him before I start losing money from him. I feel like for Man City, it's now or never now for them. They have to go out there and win this. And if they want to beat Newcastle, they're going to have to score some good few goals now. The main thing, though, is that we do have the triple captain activated on Mo Salah. So me and Ross, let's go, mate. It's me and thee in the same boat. With our common enemy of Chaza. Um,
Right, I'm ahead of him, so it's not mine and anything, mate. I'm his.
oh, I mean, that's fighting for he's from Chaza.
Yeah.
He's moved since, though. He's moved since. So yeah, the triple Bournemouth. Looking for a clean sheet. The Trent and Gakpo. Vice captaincy on Gakpo. Not that it's relevant or that relevant in a double game week, but yeah, I feel like a move that I could be super tempted to make is Mbemo, and I know Mbemo down to use the Arsenal kid who's 4.5 mil.
Manieri.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that. I was very tempted. Yeah.
super tempted to go there because then next week I'll have funds to, move and die onto someone. Move him up to someone a little bit more expensive. But I think right now I do have the luxury of time to make a decision on that, and playing Mbemo against West Ham is an absolute no-brainer. So it feels like a non-move, to be honest. And also we don't really know enough about this Arsenal youngster either. But
What are you doing with Ndai?
Just going to bench him for now, and then roll the transfer.
Yeah.
Chaza, what's funny, mate?
Sorry, I've got to let someone on stage. Now, first of all, thank you for your side, but there's someone sledging you pretty much out the back window. Mate, where are you? What's going on tonight?
Mateta's on fire. Your defense is terrifying. Mateta's on fire. Ooh. Na, 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 na. You all right, boys? Apologies, Chaza. Apologies. Listen, Chaza. I know you're angry. Sorry. I was meant to be working. I'm on the chat. There we go. But listen, I thought I had to join. Obviously, Ross is on as well. It's a shame to see him in that United top, but sometimes you have to, you have to let these things slide. But yeah, mate, it's finally good.
Haven't they? So
yeah, well, listen. You've got to live football, and unfortunately, the good times pass, but they do come back. Hopefully, not for United. But anyway, that's another story. But yeah, listen, Chaz has been hyping you up. Obviously, you're smashing everyone in FPL. You're smashing us by the sounds of it.
Yep. Apparently.
Good to have you on, mate. Good to have you. You look like you're about to actually commentate on a game, to be fair.
Thank you. Everyone said that. I have commentary later tonight, actually. So.
Wow. Impressive. But yeah, so I love the fact that, what do you think, Ross, of basically Rev saying about this? What did he call it? This, what did you call it, Rev? This way of our mini league. What was the phrase?
Or
not divine something. It was like basically the order you do it in, and there's a reason you do it. Whatever you call, yeah.
Yeah, it's so that you don't end up nicking my captain on wood like you did the other day. Like that was never in your brain until I said I'm captain wood, and then you.
Mate, Chaza asked me for what I'm doing every week.
Armband on Palmer, you mess.
I was always captain in wood. Oh no! Like, in all fairness, Ross. I mean, for me personally, I don't know if Chaza agrees with this, but I feel like it's a bit of a cop out. And what Rev's basically trying to do, without saying it, he's trying to say, "Let me see what you're doing, so then I know you're not copying me, so I can catch you." That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
I'm going to interrupt you there, because how many times have I copied what you have done this season?
Every week, I think, near enough, bar 1 or 2.
Okay, how many times have you copied me? And
I mean,
and shut me out.
To be honest, I've not copied you. The Chris Wood thing was genuine.
Okay, shut your leg.
The Chris Wood thing was genuine, kind of. Did I go was I going to go Palmer? Was I going to go Wood? I was probably going to go Palmer. I missed the deadline to change it, and it just fell that way. So
this is the levels of corruption in our league, Ross. Reidy is going to get a point deduction because he's got 115 charges against him. Fair play rules.
Yeah, but listen, if anybody, is just like thinking of bringing Phil Foden or Erling Haaland in, stop what you're doing. Don't bring them in. They're absolutely toilet. And Nottingham Forest are where it's at, like Ross has been saying. Morgan Gibbs-White, Chris Wood. What can you say? But yeah. Listen, that's enough for me giving Rev banter and stick, because
He knows
at the
all
end of the day, they got the goal last night, took the 2 points off us, so he's probably pretty happy with that. But yeah, you don't want to bench Aina for Mateta. Oh, sorry, Rev. Sorry,
Yeah,
Rev.
I'm not doing that.
You do realise though, Ross, that Chaza's benching Aina for Robinson and he's starting Mateta. So why don't you just consolidate? Just consolidate. You know what I mean?
Mate, Chaza asks me for tips every single week, mate. He's actually messages me before the deadline and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And then I tell him and then he doesn't tell me what he's doing. So, if anything, I'm also like mentoring my older brother. I'm like doing everything, mate. Like it's.
Chaz has been found out. There we go. We saw him then. He went red. He started laughing. He's been sussed. Finally, Ross, I'm glad you came on, because we'd have been none the wiser.
Yeah, Chaza fraud. Hashtag Chaza fraud in the chat, please.
Yeah. Please.
No. Wow. Feel so let down by his boys.
Yeah, but Ripper, is it time for Captaincy Corner? Rev, Reidy, when you bugging off? Or you want to stick around?
Listen, I'll stick around. I'll go on mute to let you boys carry on. I'll just thought I couldn't miss the opportunity to jump in, because I have been working, Chaz. I wasn't skiving. You can't see him in the car. I'm just like, I'm still out at the minute. So I had to pull over. I didn't want to do a Quentin and get accused of driving whilst on stream.
Oh, yeah, the compliments keep coming in, man.
You're a natural. There we go. Fit right in.
Really doing my ego up here.
Yeah. So listen, boys, crack on. Don't let me stop you.
I can just say that with 100% certainty that Ross is the best Manchester United fan we've ever had on the show. Not to throw any shade.
How many have you had? One or two? Like.
Right, Ross. Basically, this is the last time you're going to see Mikey on our channel, because he's getting sacked by Jack. Who's the guy who runs kind of things in the background, who's a United fan. And he just slated him in broad daylight.
Mate, I'm just tired of this football club, so I just don't care anymore. Like, it's just, at this point, I support Melbourne Victory and Olympiacos. So at this point, like, it's just
boom.
too far.
Mic drop. Yeah, so carry on. I mean, I'll just kind of, watch you guys.
Yeah. Right, Ripper. Well, all right, we'll wrap it up after this Captaincy Corner. So, as per usual, I've just got to try and sort myself out right here. I'll be a couple of minutes lost, so I tend to do this each week, whether with a son or not. All right. I'm not listening. Right, we start with Mo Salah, and he recorded the third equal highest double game week haul with 29 points last game week. He's produced double-figure hauls against his coming opponents early in the season. And as stated before, it could well be the last best opportunity to triple captain the best asset and the highest scoring one in the game. Cole Palmer away at Brighton. Early kickoff. Mahatma Gandhi territory. Now, I know Reidy and Rev laughed at me last season because I mispronounced and I got the syllables wrong about this old guy, which in fairness is a myth. Scored 25 points in the reverse fixture, which does amass to 5 goals and an assist in his last 3 appearances against the Seagulls. In addition, now this is, mind-blowing. Brighton have not won a league game at home since the 9th of November against Manchester City, where they won 2-1. Justin Kluivert is up next. Now, I know for some, there could be another double-figure haul watch away at Southampton, but if your name's Andy Martin, you're certainly on Justin Kluivert's baby watch on Twitter, so make sure you don't miss that and see if he gets his minutes reduced. But he's had 4 goals and 2 assists, which makes him the most transferred-in asset for the coming game week. The Saints are home this season. Ross has spoken about it. He's hit the nail on the head, like hitting 180 with Stephen Bunting, Luke Littler, because I'm ready to go. He could be ready to go once again, Mr. Clivert. Saints at home have conceded the most of anyone in the competition with 30 goals. Spurs scored 5. Chelsea scored 5. And Boomo got a 19-point haul. In addition, Isak got a brace. They are woeful. And just remember, once upon a time, a few seasons back, Leicester City managed to score 9. Alexander Isak goes away to the Etihad, in which the reigning champions have conceded 9 goals in their last 3 games across all competitions. And look, he's the 4th most sold, but he is a mass. 13 goals and 3 assists in his last 11 league appearances. Sell him at your peril. And Erling Haaland, somehow he's got a mention for the first time in several game weeks. He's had 6 goals and an assist in his last 6 matches. That is all for Captain's Corner. Pick wisely if you want the double points, or for some, especially 2 people on this panel, if you want the triple points. Back to you guys in the studio, as always. And there you go. Cheers.
Here's Chaza with the Captain's Corner.
Nice.
You do manage to get something out of that, even though it's just the no-brainer thing to do is just slap it on Salah. Double game week and all that. So, yeah, well played, mate. Well played.
Yeah, ripper. Right. Reidy, what's going on?
I'm about to rob a bank, basically.
Yeah, no, you
Looks at the minute. Yeah, it's a little bit chilly, as I'm sure Mikey will tell you. I mean, well, actually, you're in England at the moment, Chaza. What am I on about? It's a little bit nippy, you know what I mean? So I thought I'd wrap up a bit. Plus, my bonnet's not really saying too much at the minute, I thought, and I'll not expose people to that, so I'll just keep it tucked away under the hat. But yeah, what another good game we've got to look forward to. I tell you what, though, I'm glad we don't have to wait as long. Jesus Christ, that was a bit painful, wasn't it? We had League Cup, we had FA Cup before the final game of the double game week, whereas now it's just a case of, all the fixtures are getting played. You can't rob an online bank. Oh God, I'm wrong. I know. Yeah, I'm just looking out for any grannies. I'm just looking out for any grannies walking along the street, Gary. That's what it is. I'm lurking. But yeah.
Between Gary and Com's banter and Miriam's positivity, you know what I mean? we're just rolling in it. We're just having a great time.
Yeah.
Do we think Salah beats the 24 score? Do we reckon that's going to happen, or
no? And I hope not.
87 points. I mean, it's going to be a tough ask. But then again, Wolves alone, he could get a hat-trick. Lol, granny lover from way back. Yeah, like Wayne Rooney. I've got them all lined up ready.
Wow.
I don't know if anyone's ever seen Don't Mess with the Zohan. Disco doing the hairdressing with the grannies in the back. That's a story for another time. But anyway, let's get away from grannies quick.
Let's get you away from grannies quick.
Listen, I'm gonna drop something, and I know that Rev, being Rev, is probably gonna go what, but I am thinking about taking Morgan Rogers out for Justin Clivert.
What?
Yeah, fair enough. I'd back it.
I am thinking about it, but obviously it's been on my mind actually since like last week or whenever, and I think I'm gonna bench Isak.
How many transfers have you got?
1. Got 1.
Mate,
I'm not taking a hit, man, for that. Imagine taking out a double out for a hit.
I'd be like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, nah, man.
I feel like that's a very easy role.
It is a very easy role, and just play Rodgers.
And
but
Ipswich, and then maybe against Liverpool for a little cheeky something extra, maybe.
The issue with it is that I couldn't afford Clivert because he went up twice before the FA Cup. So I would have just swapped Clivert in instead of Dango. So that annoyed me. But then I'm getting Clivert next week. So I'm thinking, would I prefer to have Clivert for these next 2 against Rodgers next 3. That's how I'm thinking about it. Who do Villa play next in 26?
Chelsea at home. Table bonus too, more importantly.
Table bonus?
Well, wait, no. Actually, no,
on
it's not. Sorry.
No. Yeah. Let's do a vote. Chaza, yes or no?
Oh, what you're thinking? Yeah, why not? Yeah,
Have you got Rodgers?
yeah.
Ross, what do you think?
Is it what Rodgers for
Either.
Clivert? I've got Clivert. I don't have Rodgers, so I'd say yeah.
And then last but not least, it's 1-1. It's time. What do you say, Rev?
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but it would be no.
It'd be a no.
I think you'll thank yourself next week, and you've got 2 transfers.
Yeah, possibly. And then I do the Clive next week. Okay, no, fair dues. I'll have a think come tomorrow. That move might be made, or I might have rolled.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's right, mate.
All right.
Anyway, I've got to go. I know you're going to wrap up anyway, but Gary's waiting for his pizza to be delivered, and it's going cold here. So
Peace, mate.
and get it delivered. All right. So listen, peace out, boys. Great to meet you, Ross. And yeah, best of luck for the game.
Cheers,
Nah.
Oh, get rid of that gangster out. Honestly, what was the point in him? Yeah, Ripper. I reckon that will do it for tonight.
I'm still laughing. Sorry, at Gary's. You can't rob an online back. So good. So good.
Yeah. No, it is. Well, Ripper. Okay, that's going to make a 1-minute snippet good come tomorrow. Well, before I go, I'll get to Ross very shortly. Rev, as always, thank you to you. What a star you are, just for being you.
Oh, cheers, mate.
That's right. I thought I'd give you a compliment. Ross has had about 6 tonight. Ross, thank you so much for joining. I'll tell you what, you've been a natural. You're born on camera. You're born on broadcasting it simultaneously too.
Loving it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been fun. I love this. I'm not a very I don't really know anything about FPL, so this is quite good. I feel like I've held myself pretty well, but pretty good.
Yeah. Did you hold yourself well during the compliments too?
Nah, bro, I was blushing the whole time. Did you not see me?
Yeah. Quality.
Ripper, to everyone that joined and the banks that were robbed, thank you as always. And we'll catch you for Game Week 26, which will be this time next week. Early deadline for Game Week 26 as well. Till then, have a blinder. Cheers. And all the best on Triple Captain Salah too. Ciao.